You have found Authentic Business Adventures, a business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes of the Authentic Business Adventures podcast can be found on the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and helpful coach to small business owners across the country. And today we are welcoming / preparing to learn from AJ Aluthwala, co-founder of KallistoArt. So AJ, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, James. Thanks for having me.
I am excited because you have a good thing going in the marketing world, I guess, and even beyond with the app world. So how about we start with you telling the crew, what is KallistoArt?
Yeah, KallistoArt is a outfit which can create you a website, create you a mobile app, create you a web app, and also work on your search engine optimization to make your phone ring.
Nice. I love it when people's phone rings.
Yeah.
That's business just needs it. That's all good. So tell me, let's start with the website creation. How long have you been around building websites?
So James, we've been doing this for the last 16 years. So we started the company in 2006.
Wow.
It was almost just a hobby at the time. I was at Wichita State pursuing my MBA, and then I buddied up with Ravi, and we thought that we should start a company because we got asked by a lot of friends and family whether they when they wanted a website created, they asked us whether we can create something for them. And it was like, yeah, sure. We just, create it almost for free at the time because, it was really kind of a pet project for us. But as time went by, we realized that, there's a real need for it. And that's how KallistoArt came into play.
Nice. So back in the day, 16 years ago, let me think, there was no WordPress. There's no, we're talking Dreamweaver or just HTML coding?
It was HTML coding,
Wow.
It was, there was Dreamweaver too with, some of the Flash stuff, but
yeah.
It was, there was Front Page. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. So HTML coding, hard coding. And so the maintainability of those sites were just disastrous because they would consume a lot of time. But, if you think about it, back in the day, if you kind of go back in time in the 90s, right, having a website was just like for bragging rights, I got a website, my business has a website, it was really not a lead gen thing, it wasn't doing any of that. It was more like, I have a website, I paid a guy to get myself a website, right? And then in the early 2000s, this changed a little bit with everything going on with the .com. Then people recognized the need to have a solid website, and there was a purpose to it as well, right? So there was a certain level of lead gen which was happening out of that, and people were still kind of dancing around it, just like how people are dancing around cryptocurrency now, right? Because you don't really know what's you think that you need it, but you're not sure. And then once you get one, you won't touch it for the next 10 years. It's gonna just sit there. It's gonna, it's gonna act as your online billboard, and you don't have to, really mess with it, and it just, stays there. So that's, and we came in right in the middle in 2006. So I think late 2000s, that's when people truly start recognizing, okay, there's actually power to having a website. At the time, I remember right around 2007-8 time period, we were creating e-commerce sites too.
Wow.
E-commerce around. I remember we created a website called Scoutman Supply, which was an e-com site to sell Coleman camping products.
Oh, nice.
So there was a distributor who wanted their own website to sell it online. That business is no longer, it's not there anymore. But that's one website I just remember from 16 years ago or 15 years ago that we created, which was an e-com site.
Nice. You're jogging me back memory wise because I'm thinking, what was my first website? Because I started my first business in 2006.
Right.
I remember building my own website. I used Dreamweaver and Photoshop.
Yeah.
And then I remember when smartphones came out and you essentially had to have two websites.
Right.
Because responsive website, like that wasn't even a word.
Yeah.
And so then you're building, and then any screen that you looked at, stuff just looked funky unless it was the exact screen that you built that website on.
Right.
Stuff blocks would turn out all weird. You'd end up with sentences that would end up on the way left side of the screen.
Right.
It's just a weird time.
Or the sentences would sometimes they will just flip sideways, vertically and horizontally. I remember those days. So but we've come a long journey. We just grew from being two-person gig to we have a good sized team now. We have project managers on staff. We have a separate search engine optimization department. Then we have around we have full-time around 25 on the other side of the world. We're from Sri Lanka who are working for us. And then we have kind of built a pool of around 100 people whom we can grab from as resources. Again, in Sri Lanka, when it comes to working on apps, they don't really work on websites because it's a little different. But to do some technical heavy lifting on the apps and web apps, we use overseas resources. And we just had another guy from Venezuela. One of our SEO guys is in Peru. My assistant is in Venezuela too. So they are all over the place, and we work across multiple time zones. And that has back in the day, everyone came to an office, right? But for us, even before COVID, we were a full virtual company because that worked for what we do. The beauty of our business is we can be wherever and do work for whomever. So
nice.
that's a nice convenience that has allowed us to do work with people around the world.
A little bit of freedom there. That's cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, chronologically, you are going to school, you meet, who's your partner? I'm sorry.
Ravi.
Ravi.
Yeah.
So you meet Ravi, the two of you are like, hey, let's start this web design company. I imagine at first it's just the two of you putting together websites, right?
Yeah. So it was again, so I actually knew Ravi from Sri Lanka because he's from Sri Lanka as well. So I knew him from my college days. So at Wichita State, I did my graduate work. So he was already in Canada. So we talked about doing some work together, and it was again like a back burner project at the time. Just as okay, if something shows up, we'll do the website. And then we didn't really go out and do a lot of outreach work as well. When things showed up, we did it because we were both busy. I was in school, Ravi was working full time at another place. So and slowly but surely we came together as a kind of a full-time gig and full-time outfit. And we were just doing websites for a very long time. And it's during the last, I would say, 5 years when we started working on mobile apps and web apps. We were, and I would say, search engine optimization as well.
Gotcha.
Website was our main bread and butter for a very long time.
All right. When did you add your first employee?
We added our first employee. We were, obviously we were employees, right? So our, I guess, second and third, or third and fourth, we added them 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the business was just kind of coasting along, doing whatever, and then you
Yeah.
decided, hey, let's shift it into drive and make something happen here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it, we really it really kind of like took off because we noticed that the amount of need that was existing in the market, and we want to like really drive ourselves forward with a lot of force. And that's when we recognize that Ravi and I, we can't just do this on our own with a bunch of overseas resources, because there needs to be someone who's doing full-time project management. There needs to be a team who's doing full-time project management, and there needs to be other extra hands who can help our technical pushers in terms of website development and search engine optimization, someone who can talk to customers at our end. So that's when we thought that, okay, we need to really hire people to run KallistoArt in the most efficient manner.
Gotcha. All right. Was it tough to find employees?
Yeah, I mean, we have gone through several sets of employees. It's hard to find, I guess, people who wants to maybe stay with you for a long time, for all kinds of different reasons. And I always blame it on ourselves, because I don't want to excuse me, ever blame it on the people who work for us, because it's we as employers always have to take the responsibility. If you had a bad hire, it's your fault, right?
Yeah.
You cannot blame it on the person whom you hired, because they heard what you said during the interview, and they thought that they will be a great fit for you and for themselves, and they join your company. Now, if for some reason it doesn't work out, that is your responsibility, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so we were, I guess every entrepreneur goes through this, because you have to learn to hire the right kind of people, and it comes from experience, right? So we got the experience, we went through it, and I think we are still going through that experience as well. And it's especially different when you have a company who is dealing with different cultures, different time zones, and even sometimes different languages. You have to kind of be very sensitive to what someone else might think. When you say a certain thing in a certain way, what they might understand, right? Well, and just last week I actually told my team that we don't know what's going on in your country right now. Because we have 2, 3, 4 different countries where we have employees from.
All right.
So we, I just told them that, just tell our lead project manager upfront in every month what major holidays you have for that month. So that way we can plan accordingly. So you can have the day off, but we just need to know upfront, right? Because looking at someone else's country calendar, I cannot pick which holidays are the major holidays on it. Like, like these are like, very can be looked at as minute things, but for someone in that country can be a huge deal, right? You want to take a day off on your Independence Day, right? You want to take a day off. I mean, we can obviously keep like the major known holidays like Christmas and New Year's, and those way. And in some parts of the world, even the holidays are different. Like New Year's, we celebrate it on the 1st, but in some parts of the world, it's sacrilegious not to come to work on the 1st. You can party out. You can party out till 4 in the morning on New Year's Eve, but you show up to work at least for few hours on the 1st of January, because you do not keep a business closed on that first day. That's how they think about it.
All right.
So you have to be, sensitive to those kind of things as well. So we try to kind of cater to everyone and their kind of like their needs, to make sure that we are sensitive about what can be going on culturally in their world.
Yeah, that's fair. We just added a few people from the Philippines,
Right.
and it was I think they were starting, or maybe their first week was right before July 4th. And I said just kind of side thing like, hey, we're gonna be closed on Monday for the 4th. And they just said, why? And I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
Right.
It didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah.
Doesn't the whole world celebrate this? No. No. So like, wait, sorry, time out. And then it made me think like, whoa, they probably have holidays that I have no idea about.
Right.
So yeah, we had to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you want to be culturally appropriate more than anything, right?
Yeah, they'd not show up to work one day and I'd say why. And they're like, don't you know?
Yeah.
It's a major holiday in this country. So, funny. Right. Interesting. Tell me about search engine optimization, because I imagine that has changed from 2006 even up to today. Just trying to think, when did Google start? I guess Google was around 2006, but I just think of like Netscape and all those things that AOL came and went.
Yeah. So search engine optimization, for those who don't know what it is, it's how you get found in Google when someone is using for products or your services, right? When you search for electrician in Tampa Bay or electrician in Odessa, how those certain set of electricians show up in the map results or right down there in the search results is because of search engine optimization. So those websites which shows up, they have the right amount of keywords, the meta descriptions, all kinds of great copy. They have optimized their Google My Business profile. They have been posting into it. They have pictures. They have really worked on it. They have the right address, the phone number, the name, and all of that. And that's how search engine optimization works. Now, back in the day, to your point, in the let's say in the early 2000s, if you created a website and in a month you search for it, if you search for the products and services or the name of that website, it'll easily show up because there were not many websites that were available out there. But now a lot of people think that just because you create a website, automatically the next day Google will find you and Google will show you in a search result. And that's not the case. You have got buried in the billions of websites which are out there, right? So if you are not proactive about telling Google, hey Google, I'm here, these are the products and services that I have to offer, or these are the first or the top 3 things which we do, Google will not know who you are, right? So Google has these bots. So these are little programs which crawls the internet every night and looks for new stuff, new content. And when it sees that there is some kind of new content, or that you are queuing up some new content to Google indexes your information in its Rolodex. Right? So now when a user goes in and looks for your products and services, now Google pulls from its Rolodex and shows that information to that user, right? So that's how search engine optimization, what search engine optimization is, and to a certain extent how it works. And I can obviously go into more details, if you would like to know specific details about how we do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. It'd be great to know.
Okay, so Google has 3 main areas, because we refer to Google as just Google, right? Google has the Google Organic, then Google Map, and then Google Mobile. So what you see in a mobile search, if you look it up on your phone, might be different from what you see the same products and services if you look that up in your computer, right? So when you optimize your products and services, you can optimize for the phone, for the apps, the maps, as well as the Google Organic, which is just like the desktop view, right, of search results. So you have to think of Google as the beast which exists in Greek mythology with the three heads, I think, Cerberus, which feeds into the same stomach, right? So you have to feed these three mouths, and that's how the search engine optimization, or you get the biggest bang for your buck on Google. Now you do that, and at the same time, get yourself, if you already don't have this, get yourself a Google My Business profile, which is free. Anyone who's listening in, just go to business.google.com and it's free. Get yourself a Google My Business profile and start inputting information into that. Now, you don't have to have an actual business, because sometimes there are folks who are content creators. There are people who are coaches who do business under their own name, and they ask, okay, I'm confused. So should I get a Google My Business profile for myself? The answer is absolutely yes. Get yourself a Google My Business profile, and then you go in there and you put in content about what you do, your hours of operation, and description about your products and services. There's a FAQ section, so enter as much information as possible in there to help the people who are looking for your products and services. So you do that, and then when you have website, you have to work on the on-page content optimization, meaning any keywords that you choose. Let's take an example, like electrician in Tampa, right? Because I'm based in Tampa, I'm going to use Tampa. So electrician in Tampa. Now, if I'm an electrician in Tampa, I go to my website, I want to make sure that I have electrician in Tampa in the first paragraph of my homepage, because whomever who's looking for my services is probably looking for an electrician in Tampa, right? So you want to mention your product or your service and where you are located, right? And then you also add that keyword in few different places throughout the website. And also you can make sure you have your phone number on the homepage and your address on the homepage. So that way it's very easy for that Google crawler, the bot, to pick up this information from your website, right? And then another thing which we do is we create lead gen SEO on steroid pages behind the scenes. And these pages will have the same keywords written in natural language. They are not really connected to the main framework of the website, in terms of you cannot go to those pages from the main navigation of the website, but these pages are written in a way they are very attractive to Google. So Google will show these pages in search results. So when someone clicks on it, it will open up that page, and that page looks exactly like it's part of the website. So that's what we do. It's a three-prong approach when it comes to optimizing to Google. So we work on the website on-page optimizations. We work on your Google My Business profile, and then we work on behind the scenes website optimizations as well by creating those lead gen SEO pages on steroids.
All right. That's cool. So when it comes to search engine optimization stuff, I've worked with some different companies and talked with different companies. Some of them were just a guy in his garage, and others were many people in fancy high rises.
Right.
I guess as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that the high rise people were better than the garage guy. I mean, I guess I base it on how long they stayed in business.
Right.
I guess, how do you know that your employees that are doing the search engine optimization are doing a good job? Because it's one of those things that seems to be, you don't know if it's working until after it's already passed.
Right. So that's a great question, right? So everything we do is numbers driven. It's not like, WYSIWYG and pixie dust, right? So we want to make sure that we basically benchmark where, when we start working with someone, we benchmark where they stand for the keywords that we are using, and we track the number of calls they are getting. We track the number of people who comes to their website. We track how many people requested directions for their business, all through, and this information is pulled into our tool through Google Analytics. So it's coming from Google Analytics. So we benchmark it, and working with Google or just, search engine optimization in general, it's not a short-term strategy for lead gen. Short-term strategy for lead gen is running Google PPC or pay-per-click ads. And we do that too, but that can get very expensive for some people very quickly, because at cost is it is high. So if you are not willing to spend at least 15 grand a month, then running Google ads can not be a great strategy for you.
You say $15,000 a month?
I'm sorry, not 15,000. Now I meant to say 1,500.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. No,
that's still 15,000. Like, whoa! I've been doing that wrong.
Not 15,000. I meant to say 1,500. So,
all right.
1,500 is like, it's what we've seen is like the minimum you should be at if you want to see a good bang for your buck. Right now, search engine optimization is a long-term strategy where you would not see results for around 60 days to 90 days. So think of it as trying to turn these big, heavy wheels, and it's hard to push them to start turning, but once they start turning, you gain momentum. Right. And because of the momentum, they keep spinning and spinning. Now, with the ad strategy, the moment you stop paying for the ads, it just goes right down, because you're not getting any lead gen, right? But when you organically grow your numbers, your rankings gonna stay up there. You have to keep in mind that you have to keep on working on it. This is like a horse race. Everyone's vying for that first, second, third positions. So everyone's pushing forward, but you can have this long-term strategy which can get you to the top. And we brought people who are not even in the top 100 result to number one position in highly competitive fields such as legal. And it has worked, right? So then we get to show them that, okay, this is where you started, your baseline, and here's today, you are getting, during the last 30 days, you got, 100 calls, you had 50 people requesting directions, you had 2,000 impressions on your website. Out of the 2,000 impressions, 88% were actual people who actually found you through discovery. This is important. Discovery and direct are the two ways of someone finding you. Direct is someone already knew your name, right? So someone knew that your name is, let's say, Miller Electric, right? And they just typed in Miller Electric, and there was your website, and they clicked on it. So that's a direct hit. But if someone searched for Tampa electrician or electrician in Tampa, and your name showed up, and they clicked on it and they found you, now that's through discovery, and that's the most powerful one, because because if they already know your name, then they already know your name. They will somehow find your information, right? But if they don't know you and then they somehow discover you, that's where the power is. So we can track all of that, and we track it, and we get to see what happened during the last 30 days, what happened during the last 90 days, what happened during the last 6 months. We can track all this. We can track to see when you were getting the calls. And when I say when, which day of the week you were getting the most amount of calls. So our report shows that, for an example, Monday is your high call volume day. So if Monday is your high call volume day, then you probably want to resource for Monday to have people in the office to pick up the phone and answer all those calls, right? You don't want, if you are getting 20 calls, Monday, you don't want to miss out on any of those calls. And then we can also see what time of the day you are getting most amount of calls. And this is also very important for, especially for small businesses. With some businesses, we've seen that they are getting calls right around lunchtime. And that's because we see a spike in the graph right at 12. That's because other people are calling them during their lunch break, right? So now if everyone in this company is also out for lunch, then you're missing out on all those calls, right? So when you have these kind of analytics, you can resource for that. You can maybe tell someone, all right, or figure it out within your team. You guys go for lunch early and come back by noon, so you can man or woman the call, or go after, say, 1 o'clock. So we have some kind of a team understanding that someone will always be there to answer the phone call, or maybe one person or two people. So it's all about knowing data about your business, right? If you don't have that dashboard of data, then you don't know what's going on, and you're blindly doing the same thing over and over again, month after month, and your business is not growing. And this is why.
Interesting. So as far as calls go specifically, let's just go down that road because that's a fun road.
Yeah.
These are calls that people essentially paid to come in. How are you keeping track of that? Is that through Google Analytics, or is that a different tool?
Yeah, so we use Bright Local as our tool, and that's connected to Google Analytics. So you just when you run ads, you have a different phone number, right? You get a different phone number, and very easily you can get a Google Voice phone number for free, or if you have a phone company who is maintaining your phone system, then you can get another phone number from them. So you want to have a different phone number for your campaign, so that way you know that this phone is ringing because of the campaign, right?
Got it.
It doesn't need to be your main number, because then there's no way of justifying saying that, okay, these calls were generated because of the campaign.
Got it. All right. The clients that you work with, do they fit in a niche or a size, or is there a target market that your company specifically works with? Or are you helping everyone from the tiny company to the multi-billion-dollar?
Yeah, I think people who best take the most use out of us are the folks who have been running their businesses for the last 3 to 5 years at least, and they already have a web presence, and then they want to take it to the next level. Maybe their website was created when they first started their business, and then they want to take it to the next level in terms of the outreach. Someone who's doing at least $300,000 to $500,000 in annual revenue, and all the way up to 10 million. We can handle anyone within that range, and I understand it's a big range, but we have done work with folks who are in that range, because everyone needs a high conversion website. Everyone needs to make sure that they get shown up in Google when someone searches for their information. And then along the way, to grow your business, you need to put in internal processes, and you have to bring in systems to bring up your efficiency, right? So in a case like that, we can obviously help them out with mobile app or web app or internal apps, whatever they need in terms of, helping them out with their software needs.
Gotcha. Let's shift gears and talk about the app part of your business.
Yeah.
Because apps, that's the hot word now.
Mobile apps have been around for a long time, right? So I think there are around 1 billion apps out there now, and apps are a very interesting thing because a lot of business owners comes to us and say that, oh, I need to build an app, and I ask them, who told you that? And they say, I think we need an app. So that person came up with the idea of, I need an app. And I tell them, make sure that your users needs the app, right? It's not that, oh, I need an app. It's like, would my users actually download this app, have it in their phone and actually use it? And that's when you want to create an app. You don't want to create an app just because you need an app. It's not it's not cool to have an app, unless there's an actual real need for it and people will actually use it. So the app development work, the way it works with us is someone who has an idea for an app. A lot of people who has an idea for an app, they don't have an IT background, right? So we kind of walk them through the process. They come to us and we do a Zoom call and we gather from them what exactly they're after. And then we write it up as a requirement specification document. So we show them that we have understood your idea for the app. And during this process, we might have to meet with them another time just to, answer some follow-up questions. And then we create a pricing proposal. We have a task list which we create, the modules which will go into each of the features of the app, and then we come up with the pricing proposal and we get it out to them. And then if everything's good to go, then we start working on it. Now, app development can take a little longer than how long it will take to create a mobile, a website. So apps can range from 3-4 months to multiple years based on the size and the complexity of the app. And
all right.
We are actually in the process of finishing up an app for one of our clients, which is almost like a clone of Netflix for public broadcasting television stations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
So very excited about that. And once it's actually out, we'll do like a media blitz about that. So we can pretty much take any kind of just to show you give you an idea. We can take apps of any kind of complexity. That Netflix like app, there's a lot to do with behind the scenes in terms of optimize video rendering, optimize playback, and you have to deal with bandwidth of each user, those kind of things which you have to take into consideration. And the other bad thing which is going out for us is that there is already something called Netflix, right? So people are used to the Netflix experience, right? People are already used to the Amazon Fire TV experience. People are used to a lot of streaming content. So when you create an app, you have to have it at the same level or above the quality which someone has already experienced with another app, right? So you can't be below quality and no one will use it. Yeah. And so these are certain things which we take into consideration. And also we are not just we just don't behave like a hired gun. We always try to think with you, think with the business owner, think with that entrepreneur, think, what do they actually need? What can we give them to make them successful, whether it's a website or an app, or maybe they, missed out on something. We'll point it out to them and ask them, do you think this is important? I mean, do you think that, if we if you do this, would this be important? And, they might have an idea, which we will tell them upfront that, we don't think this is a great idea. Yeah, we will. And we, it might be not just the idea, it can be something along the way of, we are creating an app and we are trying to add a new feature, which or the entrepreneur will say, why don't we add this feature? And we might say that, oh, I don't know, I don't know whether that's a great feature, because we've seen that this feature has actually not gone so well with other apps, and we can share examples and things like that.
All right, well, that's cool. I wonder, this is just more a curiosity question, I guess, for the people with ideas that are afraid to implement them on their own. Every entrepreneur that I know has just zillions of ideas flowing through their head
right
any given day. And an app may be one of those, but just like any other idea, you're like, what would it take to actually implement that? And what's return on investment, stuff like that. So just, can you give a range for entry level app? What people are talking about, just ballpark price wise? I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I would say, for an entry level app, you are looking at $10,000 to $20,000 for entry level app.
Gotcha.
And you have to remember that apps, any kind of software, especially apps, are never a one and done type project.
Right.
You got to come up with version 2, 3, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of keep that in mind as you plan out creating an app, right? And and the app costs can go up very easily.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but what I would say is, I know that, all the entrepreneurs who are listening in, they have zillion different ideas. When you have an idea, don't delay working on that idea, because if you delay it, someone else will pick up on that idea. And because I guarantee you, you are not the only one who's thinking about it.
Right.
There will be other people who are thinking about it, and they will implement it before you. And then there's that first move advantage. So don't be that guy or gal. So, but having said that, when you have an idea, I didn't say that build an app. When you have an idea, research on that idea, see whether there is already an app or something similar to your idea, which you might be able to, or which people might be able to use without really, not you having to create a new app, or whether that particular app which already exists completely missed the mark on your idea, right? So just do a very thorough, and this research is very easy. Just get on Google and search it top to bottom, see whether there's an app which kind of does the same thing. So for entrepreneurs, there are two ways of doing it, right? So you can create your own app, or you can start using an app and maybe change your workflow, your process, in order to fit into what that app allows. And then I guess, there's another way where you can take an app and you can maybe white label it and then use it for internal purposes. Now, if you are thinking about making money out of apps, and I guess, that's what everyone wants to do. You want to obviously have a return on your project. Then you want to, think about how you are going to make money too. It can be through having Google ads. You can have like a version which has ads, and then someone will pay, $5.99 or $4.99 a month for those ads to go away, right? And then the other model which you can go off by is, you have a you remember, back in the day, you had the light version of the app, and then you had the pro version. But now within the same app, depending on your subscription pricing level, we can toggle, like enable, disable certain features for certain users.
Interesting.
So yeah, you can do that. So they have that option of having a website where someone will get the freemium version.
Mhm.
And then there is, $4.99 a month, $12.99 a month, $19.99 a month, based on the features that they are going to get out of the app, right? So that's how you definitely can get a return on the investment, and then with a very heavy user base, you can really monetize it, and one day you might even be able to sell your business. Because
All right.
imagine right now, if you have a user base of 100,000, right, paying you $4.99 a month, that's big money.
That's all right. That's all right. So AJ, what is the future for KallistoArt?
So we are actually going to change our name. That's the number one thing, right? So we have been known as KallistoArt for the last 16 years, and we came up with the name when we were just a web development company. So creating most beautiful art form on the web was our passion, and that's how KallistoArt name came into play. And now we are more of a tech company. Because we are involved with search engine optimization, we do mobile app development, web app development. So that's why we are changing the name to Kallisto Tech. And that change will happen here shortly, I would imagine within the next couple of months.
All right. So that's soon.
And then we are also growing in terms of team members. So very excited about that as well.
Nice. So you'll be on a yacht somewhere and a few months, something like that.
So talking about a yacht, we are actually partners with another business. We are creating a yachting listing and closing platform as well. I'm a 50% partner in that business, and cool. That will be out here shortly. And once it's out, and we've been working on it for the last 1.5 years, so I'll keep you posted, so we can maybe come here another time and talk about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. AJ, we are out of time. That went crazy fast.
I know, right?
Can you tell people how they can find you?
Absolutely. Anyone who'd like to connect with me, you can go to aja360.com. Again, that's aja360.com, and you'll see all my contact information, from my social media accounts to email to phone numbers, all of that. So feel free to please go connect with me on social media. So when you go to aja360.com, just click on the contact link in that menu, and you'll find my information out there. Nice.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And then KallistoArt, what is the website for that?
KallistoArt.com is spelled as KALLIST as in Tom, OART.com. It's again KALLISTOART.com.
Awesome.
And James, can I give a free gift to the listeners?
Oh, I'm sure they'd be okay with that.
Okay. All right. So when you visit KallistoArt.com, there is a link called free gift in the top right corner, and just click on that, and you'll get to see a free white paper which talks all about SEO. You'll be able to download it, and it talks about what are the benefits of having SEO, and how you can even sometimes do it yourself. So feel free to go and check it out.
Nice. I love it. The internet's not just a fad, right?
Yeah, it is.
Sticking around a little bit. Awesome. Well, thank you, AJ.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was a real pleasure.
Yeah. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, a business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We are underwritten locally by the Bank of Sun Prairie. If you could do us a huge favor and give us the big old thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, comment or ask any questions that you may have for AJ or myself below. That keeps us doing what we're doing here. My name is James Kademan, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering and receptionist services for service businesses across the country on the web at callsoncall.com, as well as Draw In Customers Business Coaching, offering business coaching services for entrepreneurs looking for growth on the web at drawincustomers.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur and all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guest, AJ Aluthwala. I probably destroyed that last name. I'm so sorry about that. All right, co-founder of KallistoArt, soon to be Kallisto Tech. Is that right?
That is right.
I love it. I love it. Growth and progress. That's all happiness.
Yes,
AJ,
sir.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, James. Appreciate you.
Sweet, sweet. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night. The podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.